Oh, good morning.
So my buddy Dan shows up at my house about 8 o'clock and we begin the long, beautiful scenic view drive up to Las Vegas. It was pretty interesting. We listened to some 90s music and we tried to entertain ourselves.
98 bottles of beer, you take one down and pass it around. 97 bottles of beer on the wall. 36 bottles of beer on the wall, 36 bottles of beer. Take one down, pass it around. 30 bottles of beer on the wall, 11 bottles of beer. Take one down, pass it around. You know, screw this. No one puts bottles on a wall. No one puts 100 bottles on a wall. No one counts bottles off a wall and drinks, and this doesn't happen. This is a stupid song. And I'm not singing it anymore. 99 bottles of Coke on the wall. 99 bottles of Coke. Take one down, Pat, because people do it with Coke. We're driving in the truck. We're gonna get there in a few hours and maybe meet up with Dinky, Gamester.
Terrible. Just terrible.
Now I live in Southern California and it can be hot quite a bit, but man, it was hot up there. It was very hot. My sweat was sweating.
Candy.
And since we couldn't check into our hotel right away, we had to wait till 3 o'clock, we decided to kill some time on the Strip. And man, let me tell you, there's some strange people on the Strip. I saw Bumblebee and Hello Kitty and a man wearing a pink tutu who kept trying to scare people and hug them. I saw Batman and Superman and Supergirl and a couple of Spider-Mans hanging out. We even saw Master Chief take off his helmet, and who knew? He's bald and he smokes. I never would have guessed that. Then, to kill some more time, we walked around a little bit more. We got a bite to eat at the Harley Davidson restaurant. It was a pretty interesting afternoon. Then when it was finally time to check in, we came to the Plaza Hotel, and man, I felt like Luke Skywalker. What a piece of junk! Because my gosh, just from the looks on the outside, the parking structure had footprints all over the walls, and the elevator was broken from the parking structure. It just felt like the place was not going to be that great of a place. But fortunately, when we got to our rooms, it was nice in there. The convention itself was nice, and I felt much better about it once I was finally in a room. Ooh, ah. Ooh. Well, one of the really cool things about that hotel, though, is that it's the same hotel used in Back to the Future 2 for Biff's Hotel and Casino in the alternate 1985. And straight outside the doors and going all the way down, there's Fremont, which is basically a giant outdoor mall. There's casinos and restaurants. And so as we're walking down Fremont, we see a sign that says Toy Shack. And it advertises that it's the same guy who appraises toys on the Pawn Stars TV show on History Channel. So we decided to peek in and have a look, and sure enough, the Game Chasers were actually in there filming an episode. And it was quite an interesting thing to see from that side. Now I tried to stay back, I didn't want to get in the way or get involved in any way. But as they were walking out, I stopped Billy and I said hello, I introduced myself, and he knew who I was. And it was pretty cool. We got to talk a little bit, talk about videos and YouTube and the panel that they were going to do with Retroware TV. And man, he's a great guy. Jay at the time, I think he had already went outside. He was meeting up with some of his friends and family at a restaurant. But it was still really cool getting to talk to Billy. And I met him several other times throughout the show, but this was the first time I met him, and to be honest, I was a little bit nervous and starstruck. There was one really kind of weird thing that happened. You know, I shook his hand and kind of walked away, and he came back around and Billy came to talk to me again, and I thought he was gonna do like a fist bump. He had his hand up kind of like this, and so I tried to do a fist bump, but apparently he wasn't doing a fist bump, so I felt kind of stupid, but whatever. It was still really cool. I have to say that Billy and Jay both, as I got to talk with them throughout the show, there were no egos at all with these guys, and I really appreciate that. I cannot wait to meet up with them again in the future, and I just wish that we could have hung out more than we did. So that evening, we were supposed to meet up at the Pinball Hall of Fame. Several of us YouTubers were supposed to meet up there. And so I didn't know how I was going to find anybody, so I made a sign. So I'm waiting out there with my sign, and lo and behold, here comes a cab. A taxi rolls up, and out comes Dlnkydana, and he slaps the driver some cash, and we go in the Pinball Hall of Fame, and we're having a great time. Hey, it's Dinky.
What's going
What's up,
on?
man?
Got my glasses on here.
Oh yeah,
Before you
the truth comes out.
What's up,
There's a
man?
lot of people there, some that I knew, some that I didn't know yet, and it was nice to meet them. Alexdemoted was there. He was a great guy. We ended up hanging out most of the night. And we also met old school NYC gamer there. He also was a great guy. Phat the NES punk was in there playing a lot of pinball, carrying around a bag of games I guess he'd picked up at the Gamer's Paradise. And let me just tell you, Dlnkydana, he is like an instant, like we totally meshed immediately. I know on Hit Reset Radio podcast, Vintage sort of told him he had to find me and hang out, but I'm glad that we did because Dinky instantly, he's like a brother, you know, we had so much in common beyond just video games, like board games and Magic the Gathering, you know, YouTube, all these things we had in common, and just instantly we clicked and hit it off and laughed and had a good time. But beyond the people we hung out with, man, we were in the Pinball Hall of Fame, and let me tell you, man, that's a lot of pinball. It's pinball from 30, 40 years ago, even older. There were just from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and classics like the Star Trek Next Generation pin, which was great to play, and Tron and Twilight Zone and Indiana Jones and Star Wars, every kind of pinball game you could imagine. And they also had off in the back, there were some arcade games, and it was just all around a blast. You know, I spent a lot of quarters in there playing a lot of great pinball.
I need to eat something at Planet Hollywood.
But after the Pinball Hall of Fame, we were hungry. We decided to go back to the Strip, and we went to a noodle place in the Venetian Hotel. And we got to hang out with Dlnkydana and Alexdemoted and his girlfriend, and it was a great time. We talked a lot of reminiscing about our childhoods. Found out some things about these guys that I didn't know. I was unaware that Dinky actually is the world record holder on Twin Galaxies for Contra on the NES. I thought that was pretty cool. And you know, we just clicked and had a great time walking around in the various casinos, you know, trying to play some slot machines, some penny slots, and just goofing around and having a good time. It was a great evening. But eventually, all things must come to an end, and the sun went down, and we were ready because the next morning, the convention was going to start.